been hearing about the verse Varha Piram Natvar Vabu Karnyo Karnikaram. This is from Bhagavatam 10th Canto. As per this verse, we heard that why Krishna wears yellow pitambar. Pitambar is it represents the color of Radharani's bodily complexion. He wears yellow flower, Karnika flower, in his ear. Why he wears? We heard this yesterday. Today we will hear about the next line of this verse. Krishna is said as Natvar Shekhar. Sometimes he is described as Rasik Shekhar, but here he has been named as Natvar Shekhar. Natvar means he is all the dancers. Among all the dancers, Krishna is the topmost. Krishna is the topmost dancer among all the best dancers. During Sharad Purnima, Sharad Kalin, Krishna dresses up very nicely and he wears his flute and he enters the forest of Vrindavan. Krishna, who is a very good dancer, is the best among all the dancers. That Krishna, he is he is dressed up in a very nicely manner. Um, so every place has its own respective outfit, attire. Like in the morning, we'll go for jogging, we'll wear a tracksuit. Evening party, we'll wear a different dress. At home, we will wear some other dress. So every place has a dress code. So Krishna, he enjoys roaming in the forest. He wants to spend so many pastimes with gopis in the forest of Vrindavan. So for that, so so for that purpose, he has dressed up very nicely, and in his hand he has a flute, the VENU, and he's entering the forest of Vrindavan. That time, his Venu's sound, um, it means here that when Krishna plays that flutes, the style of Krishna's playing the flute, it looks like as if also nectar from Krishna's lips. Other Sudha, that's like nectar from Krishna's lips. So the flute is just like a bamboo stick, simple bamboo stick. Inside, and that flute has some holes. So Krishna plays the flute in such a way that from those holes of the flute, Venu, it's like if something has some holes, it's 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 not complete, it's incomplete. If something is torn or it has some holes like a dress or something, it's considered as incomplete. It's complete when it's completely. But Krishna's flute, Venu, Vamshi, it has holes. If it doesn't, then it can't be played. How the fingers will dance on the flute, right? So here, when Krishna with his lips from the nectar of his lips, he plays on his flute. That Vamshi, which has lots of holes in it, it looks like Krishna is trying to fill those holes of of his flute, filling up with his nectar from his lips. So that's why it is said that Krishna's Venu is its eternal associate, always with Krishna, the flute. It never leaves Krishna, the Vamshi. If it's not on his lips, then it will be around his waist. And if it's not around his waist, then it will be tied around the waist belt. But the Venu, Krishna's flute, will always be with Krishna, because you we never know when he has to play it, in which mood he has to play it. So he has to keep his Vamshi, his Venu, with him only. This is the fortune of the Vamshi. The Vamshi cannot live without Krishna, and Krishna cannot live without Vamshi. They always associate with each other. Eternal associate. We associate with whom? Someone asked this question a few days back. Um, that we come in bhakti, but how do we maintain bhakti? Our bhakti. It's easy to come in Krishna consciousness, but how do we maintain our Krishna consciousness? So someone asked this question to Gurudev. So the answer was, the class was in English. There's so much difference to say that Krishna is the part of my life, and while saying Krishna is my life, there's difference between saying Krishna is part of my life and Krishna is my life. There's difference in these two things. Krishna has entered my life. I have just now started going to Radha Madhav Gaudiya Math, Faridabad. I heard Harikatha. I really liked it. I got a garland of Thakurji, some prashadam. I have started doing fasting on Ekadashi. I have started chanting. I have started doing services. So it looks like Krishna has entered my life. This is first stage, initial stage. But we feel real happiness when Krishna becomes our life, not just a part of our life. The real essence, the real happiness is when Krishna becomes our life. You became part of my life is one thing, and another thing is when you become my life. This is another thing. Like, for to breathe we need oxygen. If oxygen is not there, then what happens? We can't live. We will be dead. How long can we hold our breath? They tell us to take a deep breath. When you are really stressed, take a deep breath. How long can you stop? You can't really live without taking breath. You can't really live without breathing. So when this stage comes that you can't live without them, they are not just part of our life, but they become our life. There's difference in that, in both of these points. So they really liked this point. They told me later on, Maharaj, I, I really like this point, what you mentioned, that Krishna, Bhagwan, becomes becomes a part of our life, or he becomes our life. So these are two very different point of views. Can you weigh both of these points? I have made Krishna enter my life, and now he has become my life, which is heavy. That is why Venu is always with Krishna, and Krishna, with his lips, the nectar of his lips, always fills the holes of the Venu, the holes which are there in Krishna's Venu flute. Krishna fills them up with the nectar from his lips. It's good to be. It's good that the Vamshi has holes. Why it is said like this, that Vamshi should have some holes? There is a beautiful bhav behind it. By associating with Krishna, it will be very sad if someone who associates with Krishna, but still that person gets no qualities and still has some faults. Faults means holes. Then it's a shame. That means we did not really associate with Krishna. Holes means something missing, good qualities missing. It's a bad, it's a issue of sadness. But when the Venu associates with Krishna, it has to be filled. The holes has to be filled. So this is compared. Uh, if someone associates with someone, and so this flute without holes cannot be possible because it can't be played unless and until there are no holes in the flute. It cannot be played. To play on the flute, it needs to have some holes. It can't be planed without holes. It's impossible. That is why Krishna himself, with his nectar from his lips, fills up those holes by that nectar. This is called Adhar Sudha, Adhramrit, the lips from his nectars. The nectar from his lips, lotus lips. So he's filling up that he's filling up that part of the Venu which is incomplete, those holes. And Venu flute cannot be played if there are holes, if there are no holes. And those holes are filled up with Krishna's nectar from his lips. The person who associates with Krishna, how do we associate with Krishna? By chanting his holy names. Those who chant Krishna's holy names means they are directly associating with Krishna. Those who hear Bhagavatam, they are associating with Krishna. Those who are serving Vaishnavas, they are directly serving Krishna. So those who associate with Krishna by chanting or Ekadashi or serving Vaishnavas, hearing Harikatha, that person cannot have any holes or bad qualities. Even if that person has any bad quality, they will be removed. They will be removed. And this Venu, it has so many holes. Without holes, it cannot be played. But by taking association of Krishna, all those holes get filled up. But that Venu, which is always with Krishna, it has so many holes in it to be played by Krishna. And if these holes are removed, then it cannot be played. So, to reconcile this, what Krishna does, my name should not be spoiled. That someone who is with me has some holes. This flute cannot have some holes. Is always associating with me. So my name should not go bad. So these holes of the Venu, I will fill these holes with the nectar from my lips. When I blow or when say something, then that nectar from Krishna's lips will fill up all those holes in that Vamshi, in that flute. That even this Vamshi should not have any holes. Venu. This is the point here. Shri Krishna, when he with his fingers plays on the holes of the Venu. So here it is said that um, Shri Krishna, how he places Venu on his by his fingers, and those fingers are not really, they are not really just playing on those holes, they are dancing on those holes of the Venu. And Krishna is is the point is Krishna giving his association to the flute, or this flute is giving his association, its association to Krishna? So Krishna, when he with his fingers, when he closes the holes on his Venu by his lips, it is described that his lips are red, like bimba fruit. It's a fruit which is reddish in color. So that fruit, Krishna's lips are naturally reddish, lalima, reddish. Like if someone eats a tambul, we guys, we people don't eat, but the one who eats, his lips become reddish. So Krishna doesn't do any shingara, makeup, no lipstick on his lips, no talcum powder, no lipstick of red or purple or pink color. It's not like that. His lips are naturally red in color, like bimba fruit. Bimba fruit means how it is red in color. So each and every, if we compare Krishna's limbs, then whenever we mention about his lips, the description about his lips will be, it will be compared with this bimba fruit, and his and his color is compared to the sky in the cloud in the skies, blackish bluish. His feet, his hands, they are compared with lotus flower. So this we need to remember. His walking style is compared to an elephant. Not fat like an elephant, but just way of walking like an elephant. Like Hathi, oh sorry, the elephant, it moves left, right, very gently, like that. So today we learned his lips are like bimb fruit. Now Krishna, when he fills the holes of the Venu, then with his bimba lips, red lips, the nectar which is coming from his red lips, that's called adhamrit. Adhar means lips. The nectar from his adhar, nectar from Krishna's lips, when it goes to the Vamshi, it fills up the holes of the Vamshi. And then that sound which comes, that nad, which comes from this Vamshi, when Krishna blows into that Vamshi, does he just blow some air? No. He he says, chants the name of Radhaji. Krishna meditates on Radharani, and Radharani meditates on Krishna. So that blowing is not just blowing of air, but he remembers Radharani and chants her name, or he puts her qualities in that Vamshi, because someone says why? The answer is there is nothing more, uh, there's no other better um, sticking agent like Fevicol than this name of Radharani. No better glue than the name of Radharani. So if once Krishna meditates on Radharani and plays this flute, then that sound which comes from his flute is very beautiful and attractive, and then all the trees become stagnant, they get attracted, they can't understand what is this sound, like a nectar's wave of a nectar. They lose all their consciousness. Why? Because they get association of Krishna, all the trees and all those plants. Sham Sundar, if he plays the Venu, then something will happen in our mind. Without thinking, it can't. And then there will be some feelings as well. When Sham Sundar plays that Venu, Krishna has this feeling not just to attract others towards him, but also Radharani, he wants to attract. This is his feeling. And he also has this feeling, he has lots of love for Radharani. That love which cannot be measured, which cannot be counted, that love in which Krishna drones, that love is in Krishna's heart. Those feelings of Krishna's heart, when it comes to his mind, and then from his lips he plays that Vamshi. By keeping that Vamshi on his lips, then whatever comes from Krishna's lips, that would be nectar. This nectar, and with these feelings, that sound which comes from his Vamshi, it goes around in all four directions, and then it attracts everyone. Mohit means to attract in such a way that they lose their consciousness. So Yamuna ji, when it hears the sound of Krishna's Vamshi, those waves of the Yamuna river stop. Like we say someone's statue, so they stop immediately. They don't move. So those waves of Yamuna ji stop when they hear the sound of Krishna's Vamshi. And the place where Krishna stands to play the Venu, Govardhan Shila. Krishna stands on Govardhan Shila. Shila is like stone, but we don't say stone, we say Govardhan Shila. So Krishna is standing on Govardhan Shila, that Shila melts. So Shila melts and Yamuna stops. The waves of Yamuna stop. So this shows how sweet that Venu Nath is, sound of the Venu. Sometimes someone's words are very like nectar. Those words, it has some such nectar that by hearing those, we feel so much joy, a bliss in our heart. Why? Because in their mind, in their heart, they have so much love. And with that feeling, with those feelings, if something is said or described, then the sound which comes is very more attractive, heart touching. That's why Shri Krishna attracts everyone towards him. But alas, by by it's like sad point. Or here it said hi in this statement. Hi means not like wishing, but it's like to say in the sense, but one thing is sad point. So it is said in Hindi hi, but hi in here means like sad. Venu is so close to Krishna. Being so close to Krishna, its holes are not getting filled up. It still remains with holes. Although Krishna has so many qualities, so Krishna's nectar, so Krishna's nectar from his lips, it enters the Venu, but it goes out from the holes. The Adramrit, the nectar from Krishna's lips, the moment it touches the holes of Krishna's flute, Venu, it changes its nature. It becomes Nadamrit. Nad means rag. It's like music. So that it comes from Krishna's lips like a Dramrit, but when it enters the holes of Vamshi, it becomes Nadamrit. Either Ragamrit or Nadamrit. So the dry trees or the creepers, they become they become they were dried because they were in separation from Krishna. They feel separation from Krishna, they dry. The leaves and the trees, the creepers. But when Krishna meets with Radharani, they become very nice. They bloom. But in separation from Krishna, they dry up. All the trees in Braj, they dry up in separation from Krishna. They are completely dried. But but by hearing the sound of Krishna's flute and the rag which is coming from Krishna's Venu, what does happen? All these trees who were dried, they become all full of green leaves, fresh. In the entire tree, not just few parts. And the Govardhan Shilas, the Shilas of Govardhan, when we go to Govardhan, you all must have seen, or when we go to Sakhi Parvat at Kokilavan, and at different places, what do we see? There's a big Govardhan Shila and it has a big steps of Krishna's lotus feet. When we go to Radha Mandir Kartik, oh no, sorry, Charan Pahadi. There are so many steps over there. What do we see over there? There's a Shila there where Krishna's lotus feet are stamped over there. So Krishna played the flute and the Shila melted. The moment it melted, Krishna's lotus feet got impressed there. Like if someone melts our heart, like we say, my heart melted. When heart melts, whatever is there in the heart, if the heart is very strong like a stone, then any impression, no impression can come. But when that stone melts, only then impressions can come in our heart. So Shri Krishna is standing on Govardhan Shila. Those impressions, those signs won't come on that Shila. But the moment Krishna, Nadamrit, and Ardhamrit, he he makes a mixture from both of these ingredients, then what the nectar which comes from them, that makes the Shila melt, and then it gets impression. That is why if the heart is like stone, there won't be any impressions or feelings or emotions. But if the heart is melting, then there will be every single thought, feelings, and impressions. And how the heart melts by service. Without service, the heart can never melt. No matter how many verses you learn, no matter how much katha you speak, the heart will not melt unless we do not serve. And same actions are done with the mood of service, then even this heart can also melt. And service means some others happiness and pleasure. This is the meaning of service. Thinking of thinking about others happiness and pleasure. Like we say, today I want to please you. The nice word for that is, today I want to serve you. I want to serve you. I want to please you. And what do I get in return? I also will get happiness and pleasure. Then, when this happens, an impression comes in our mind. And once that impression is stamped on our mind, then it never leaves. Like in Govardhan, we go to take the darshan of Krishna's Charanchin. It's as old as 5,000 years ago. So those impressions are still there. So much uh, rain gets over there, come over there. Too much heat comes over there. But still, those lotus Krishna's lotus feet signs are still there. They are not removed from there. Even by nature, they are still there, maintained there. So once some impressions get impressed, then it never gets removed or ended. Yes, it can be frictioned by scrubbing. If you keep touching again and again, again and again, again and again, and keep rubbing, then shows like it's not so shining now, but its impression still remains there. Similarly, the melting heart, if one impression comes in that, then it never goes away in vain. As per time, place, circumstance, it can be frictioned. There can be some erosions, but those impressions never end. It becomes its dharma, its swabhav, its nature. Like you all heard, what is nisarg? Nisarg means changing one's nature. That's called nisarg, changing the nature. The nature of water is liquid. Water is thorough, it moves. If you keep that water in the freezer, what happens? It becomes an ice. Now, um, so the ice, snow, ice becomes hard, but it has the nature of water, liquid nature of water. That nature it doesn't loses. So its own nature of being liquid, even an ice has that nature, but it has got such a temperature that it has become hard. And the moment ice is taken out from the freezer, what happens then? It melts like water. So this change of nature, change of swabhav, this is called nisarg. It changes as per time. So Krishna is attracting everyone towards him through his flute, but he's not able to fill the holes in his vamshi. And even though if he does next, it won't be filled up. So if that Venu has holes, it's fine. But then Krishna is thinking it the fault will come to me because I was giving my association to this flute and still has holes. I can remove all the faults of my devotees, but this Vamshi, which is always with my lips, is the holes in this Vamshi I'm not able to remove. I'm not able to fill. This is the point which Krishna is bringing here. And if Krishna removes all those holes, then it can't be played. What situation is this? Then Krishna cannot play on his Vamshi. So that I should at least give something to this Vamshi. What did it get? The most nice thing. Adhamrit, the nectar of Krishna's lips. And the Shilas of Giriraj, they melt. But it's a very astonishing point actually. Govardhan Shila, they melt. The trees get the flowers, fresh flowers. The waves in Yamuna, they stop. So everything is seeing some transformation. But it's happening because of Venu actually, these transformations. But that Venu, that flute, is getting no transformation. Why so? So Venu is making all these transformations in the Yamuna's water, trees, but that Vamshi, that Venu is not feeling any change in itself or any transformation. It's getting no transformation. The Venu, its strong limbs do not melt. She's melting the hearts of limbs of everyone. This is Venu Geet. It's melting the limbs of everyone, but it's not changing. It's so even though it's so close to Krishna's lips, those lips which are worshipped by everyone, as Radharani, Gopi, they desire that Venu is so close, but that Venu is getting no transformation. Rest all are getting transformation. This means that there are so many people in this world who have lots of holes. It looks like in this world there's so many people who have so many um, shortcomings, holes, but Krishna never tries to make someone. Krishna doesn't try. Krishna will not increase our shortcomings. If- he doesn't increases our shortcomings, but he ends our shortcomings. This means that in this world there are so many people who have so many shortcomings, but Krishna doesn't make anyone. Um, he doesn't increases anyone's shortcomings. So Venu got birth. It seems to be that Venu is very simple. They are saying here that Venu took birth. In which family? Like they ask us, who is your family? In which family you took birth? Are you a Brahmin? Are you a Kshatriya? This is a. Are you a Vaishya? Or are you a Shudra? So Venu took birth in which family? Sadvansh. Okay, the family of trees. The trees they give shades to everyone. Even if we throw a stone on the tree, it gives us fruits. So these trees, they give everything of their to others. Their nature is to give shades, fruits, bark, flower, everything, whatever they have. So Vamshi also took birth in Sadvansh. So Venu is made from these trees, and the nature of Venu is very simple. No, Venu is very simple, very kind-hearted. It's not clever, not mean. That is why it got Krishna's association. First, she got birth in it got birth into Sadvansh, and second, it's very simple. That is why it could get Krishna's association. Krishna can never live without his flute. It's not like he plays his flute all the time, but he keeps it very close to him, close to his heart. This is the reason that gopis always think again and again that this Vamshi, it's our it's our how do we say this in English? South co-wife. That's the right word. Second wife, co-wife, another woman. So gopis, they say this Venu, this flute, this Vamshi is our co-wife because she teases us. It teases us and is always there lying on Krishna's lips, lotus lips, and Krishna never leaves this Vamshi. Nor Krishna, nor Vamshi leaves Krishna. So what it has done, we don't know. We also want to know. We also want to understand what this Vamshi has done. So Vamshi expressed its emotions. Vamshi, Venu. And Krishna is trying to fill up its holes, fill up its shortcomings, Venus. But uh, by um, getting Krishna's association, it is said here that Radharani and all the gopis they think we are always we are engaged in doing our household work. Our mother-in-law, she never complains about us. We are doing our household duties properly. But the moment we hear this Vamshi's sound and its sound enter our ears, we are not, we remain no good for either house or outside world. All our senses, they become weak. Our mind becomes so attached to the sound of Krishna's flute. And then they also praise this flute. Oh, this Vamshi is so sweet, always with Krishna's lips. We are not like this. We don't get Krishna's association all the time. We are not like this. So they always feel guilty. They feel their shortcoming, the gopis. So one day they thought that let's steal this Krishna's flute. He's Makhan butter thief. He steals clothes. He steals the emotions and feelings of Radharani. So when we steal his favorite thing, it's a big thing. Uh, who can steal in the house of a thief? Like Krishna has said here, a thief. Who can steal in the house of the thief? This is interesting. Like once, so the one who steals everything from others, Krishna is a famous thief. Prasiddha means famous. What he steals? He steals butter, He steals the clothes of the gopis, and he steals our millions of sins from many, many, many different previous births. And he steals the feelings of Radharani. So tell us, so many things he has stolen since his birth. Everything he has stolen. Now gopis are thinking, let's steal in the house of this thief. Let's steal his Vamshi. If there is no Vamshi, there won't be any problem. This, if he has no Vamshi, he will not play it, and then we can properly do our household works, serve our husbands properly, serve our children properly, serve our cows properly, make the garden patties nicely. So gopis are saying all this among each other. They are just saying it, but in reality, they want to always hear the sound of Krishna's Venu. So one day Radharani planned with all her gopis, Radhaji, Lalita Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, and all of the gopis. Tomorrow when Sham Sundar comes, and then we will sit in a line, in a row, and gradually, wherever Krishna hides his flute, we will just pick it up and hide it behind us. Not we won't pick it up from the front because Krishna will catch us. We will keep our hand behind our back. So we will make a chain. They all planned it like a big gang, and they want to steal a big thing. They are no less. Krishna is no less. He's also a big dacoit. He's a big thief. So there's a big stealing happening in the house of dacoit and the thief. So all these gopis they sat down. Radharani sat down. Lalita Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, they all sat down in a row. Every day they sit around Krishna. They keep Krishna in the center and they sit around Krishna in his circle. And then what happens? They all think Krishna is just looking into my eyes. If someone is sitting in the side, that person, that gopi is also thinking that Krishna is looking at me. This is 3D effect of Braj, of Krishna. Like sometimes we see a painting, you see it from any angle, left, right, straight. You will think, you will think their eyes are just focusing on us. And by seeing eyes, we can understand everything. Eyes speak a lot. And Bhagavad Gita's first canto, Shukdev Goswami's verse, it is said regarding that a very nice thing. Krishna specially gave a boon to the females, women, that if you look into someone's eyes, you can understand the entire feelings, emotions of that person, whether he has good feelings or bad feelings. This boon ladies have got, Matajis have got. So that's why Radharani sat next to Krishna. Oh Sham Sundar, you are so beautiful. Aha, Sham Sundar. Such nice earrings, kundal you are wearing in your ears. When you walk, these kundals, earrings, they shake from your body. Kalevar, such nice fragrance comes. When we see your peacock feather, oh, you are so beautiful. On top of that, this beautiful feathers, they make you look so beautiful, like as if rainbow has come on the clouds. Krishna, Radharani is describing all this, and whatever she describes, they're like nectar. And Krishna hears all these words, and he he does like this. Krishna. That means he's enjoying, he's relishing all those things. So he kept his Vamshi down, and Radharani distracted Krishna. What you gonna steal today? We gonna steal your Vamshi. Today we going to steal your most favorite Vamshi. And just keeping that behind her back, Radharani gave it to Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi then gave it to Vishakha Sakhi. And it goes to Tungavidya. She gave it to Indulekha, Sudevi, Rangadevi. So it's traveling from one gopi to another gopi. All the gopis. Radharani is talking to Krishna, distracting Krishna, and while talking with Krishna, she stole the Vamshi. Oh, Sham Sundar, now we are going home. Otherwise, they will all worry about us. We are going to our house now. The moment they said this, Krishna said he thought they all went home. If they all go home, then how will I enjoy Prem? They said so many nice things about my beauty. I must give them some gift. And I only have one thing to give them. That is my Vamshi. Let me sing a song for them. So with these emotions, Krishna kept. So Krishna is actually trying to check where his Vamshi is. By his hands, he's checking it. So he's worried. Where is my Vamshi? Where's my Vamshi? And he's thinking, Radharani is sitting next to me. Now Radharani is playing the Vamshi after stealing it. She's playing the Vamshi. Radharani. Krishna's Vamshi. Now Krishna is praying. Ledayo Rabasuri Mori Shri Radhe Rani Ledayo More Bash. It's a Braj Bhajan which Maharaj is singing. Krishna is asking for his flute back. He's saying to Radharani, please give my flute back. My life here is resides in this Vamshi. And you have taken that Vamshi. Shri Radhe Rani Re Dairo Re More Vamshi. Krishna is praying like this to Radharani. This is a proper Braj Bhajan. How will I bring the cows? Krishna is saying to Radharani. So Radharani is answering to his questions. Sing from your lips, Krishna, and play with your hands. Sing from your mouth and play with your hands. Now I'm not going to give you this Vamshi back. It has really spoiled my life, disturbed my life. Now you're not going to get it back. Radharani is saying like this. Then Krishna prays a lot. How will I dance? How will I do ras? So many things. So he's stuck to his point to get his Vamshi back. At last it said, Radharani is most merciful. Okay, okay, stop crying. Don't cry too much. We just took one Vamshi of yours, just like we take a toy from a child. And it starts crying so loudly. So you Sham Sundar, we just took your one Vamshi and looks like you're losing your life. Krishna loves that flute so much. They both are so attached to each other. And this Venu is the one that, through that, Krishna gets everyone's anurag. This Venu keeps everyone enthusiastic for Krishna's bhakti. This is Venu Geet. So, by this, Radharani is giving warning. From today onwards, will you sing like this on this Vamshi? Will you disturb us? Radharani says like this to Krishna. Krishna is saying, I will fall down at your lotus feet. I will touch my ears, pull my ears. Please give me this Vamshi, my flute, back to me. Why should we give you? Because your heart has some anurag and I want to feel it. So there, those feelings are described as this sound of Venu attracts everyone, melts everyone's heart, but this Venu doesn't melt. Its holes are not getting filled up. It takes Viruddh Dharma Ashray, opposite Dharma. Krishna tries to fill up all the holes of that Venu, like removing the shortcomings and faults. But even though the Venu has got Krishna's association, but this Venu still has holes. They don't get filled up. This shows that those people, it is said here clearly that those who don't understand the sar, consensus that represents Krishna's bhakti, so that person who takes birth in high family and attains Krishna's bhakta's association, that um, this Venu gives lots of instructions to us actually. Venu adar sudaya varha pidam natvar vapu karnyo karnikaram. You all should learn this verse, Maharaj saying. We heard till here today. Venu adar sudaya. Venu adar sudaya. Sudha means amrit, nectar. Adar means lips. And Venu means Vamshi. Tomorrow we will meet again. Purna Grop Vrinde. Oh, no, we will hear different line. Vrindavan's Aranya. Inside the forest, there is a, a nice. There's a forest inside the forest. That's called Aranya. So, in that Aranya of Vrindavan, when Krishna walks with his lotus feet, when he walks, it is so significant. And what happens with that, this we will hear tomorrow. There's so much to hear actually, there's so much more to hear. We will read the entire Venu Geet and we will learn and we will meditate upon it. Venu Geet means the entire song of Prem. In Gita, there are instructions given. Updesh, instructions, do this, do that. And this Venu Geet, it's based on emotions, Prem, feelings, feelings and love of gopis. So choose some special words of Hindi and learn them. Udgar means feelings of love. This is coming from the hearts of gopis. Krishna's each and every action. So this love is never constant. Love doesn't decreases, it always increases. This is that Geet. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.